Merry Christmas, everyone. Hope your holidays have kicked off exactly how they should, with solid food, loving family, good energy, and some great presents. Drop in the chat what you got this year. For anyone new here, I'm AI Manick, your festive opening act, while the real Manick is backstage doing what every founder does during the holidays, ignoring the concept of time off and grinding to get more updates out. Welcome to day 9 of the 12 Days of Search Atlas live series. This feels more like a non-stop product sprint because we've been stacking launches faster than wrapping paper piles up under a tree. If it's your first time joining us, make sure you go and watch day 1, where we launched the first ever agentic SEO platform. Everything you've seen this week runs on the same engine and build on top of 12 days of agentic software plans. This feels more like a doesn't wait around politely for humans to maybe implement something later. That's the baseline now. While we get everything dialed in, drop your questions in the chat. Product questions, strategy questions. I'm collecting them so Manick can tackle them live. Grab your coffee, cocoa, or whatever's keeping you vertical today. Day 9 is about to go live.
Ho, ho, ho. Welcome back, everybody. How was Christmas? I hope you guys had a lovely day. We certainly did over here. And not gonna lie, I'm a little bit hungover, but it was worth it. We played a lot of minute to win it Christmas games. We had a bunch of friends over. And yeah, I think it was, for us, I think it was my best Christmas that we've had as a family in a while. So I'm really, really happy today. It was an absolute blast. Now, for those of you that joined us yesterday, as you know, we launched, or we gave away a bunch of free stuff. You guys got $75 of HyperDrive credits. If you're watching this and you missed yesterday's Christmas live stream, go back and watch it. Do yourself a favor, comp that promo code to get 75 HyperDrive credits added into your account for free. You'll be able to do that, redeem that promo code until January 1st. So here's your second reminder about that opportunity. Now today, we're gonna give you something that you can use those HyperDrive credits towards. What am I talking about? Well, let's see if we can get into the Vesta board. And of course, just before the demo, my Vesta board account decides to log me out. So maybe we're just gonna skip on the Vesta board today and just go straight in. For the, yeah, seriously, what a heckler. You know what? Screw the best word today. I'm just going to tell you what it is. How about that? Is that cool with you guys? So today's launch is 4 new channels to Signal Genesis. More news sites. More opportunity to get your clients found online, more opportunity to influence the LLMs and create your own consensus, build your brand, and just get found. So these news sites, these are big. These are really big. Let's name them. So number 1, USA Today. Hell yeah. USA Today is an awesome domain. Number 2, we've got high authority US news media, some really high authority local news stations. These are getting indexed. These are getting found by LLMs. You'll see the citation data that I'll share in a bit. We got Marketwatch. Yeah, Marketwatch, huge website. So we got Marketwatch, and then the last one is APNews. So a lot of excitement today for these new channels. And what I'm going to do is let me take you actually into the product launch. That's ridiculous, but I love it. Guys, give me 1 second. I got to get the right screen up. For some reason, it's sharing the wrong screen today. We'll get it. Hold up. All right, let me switch this up. Yep, there it is. Okay, cool. So, new press release channels. Let's dive right in. So, we're going to go into authority. And inside authority, the first page you land on is PR distribution. And yes, I could have used Search Atlas Brain, but I just want to show you inside the product itself so you can actually see the channels where they show up. And we have a headline here for a press release that we drafted. This is about Linkgraph, our agency, launching AI SEO services for global businesses, targeting the GEO agency page with the keyword AI SEO agency. So let's have a look at the step where we actually get to pick which channels we want to publish to. So here you've got USA Today. This site has a massive amount of authority. DR 92, total of 679 million backlinks, 50 million organic sessions on the site, and it's primarily targeting the US audience. You'll see we gave you these stats for every channel. We wanted to give you guys a sense for the traffic of these sites. You guys can see that in here, the authority tiers that these sites are in, and whatnot. And we're going to keep doing that. So as we add new channels in the future, hint, hint, new channels will be coming in the future. We're going to be giving you all these stats so you guys can see that. So USA Today is right here. Marketwatch is right here. The high authority US News Network. These sites are awesome. That's right here. And then you've got APNews right down here. Now, one thing to point out about APNews, that article, and let me actually show you the examples. All right. So this is APNews. This is what it looks like. This is the APNews distribution. Here you can see a piece that we published on Search Atlas launching technical vibe SEO to redefine technical optimization, talking about the components of that. And here you get to see the press release, and as you can tell, it is on the APNews domain. The only thing that's not my favorite about this is that this particular distribution is no index, but the others are indexed. So this is USA Today. That's what this one looks like. This is a piece we published on GPP Galactic. You probably noticed if you were tracking our Google News alerts that this creates and triggers a Google News alert. Another piece we published over here about the WordPress plugin. But as you can see, these are live on the internet, these are indexing, and these will trigger Google News alerts. Here is another example for a local plumbing brand on this domain. Okay, so that is USA Today. Let's have a look at this high authority US News Network. And I'm sure you guys are gonna have questions about this, so pop them in the chat. This is an example of one of these sites. So the distribution for this one goes to 17 to 22 unique sites. Wow, that's really good. And the sites are like this. This is naplesnews.com. Naples is a city in Florida, of course. And there are a lot of local sites in this distribution, but these sites, they get traffic, they're high authority. These links are do follow, do index, which makes them really compelling from a LLM perspective. Now, I'm going to show you the data after I show you all the kind of like what a press release looks like in each channel. I'll show you the data on what sites are being found inside LLMs. I'm going to give you all that data in a second. All right. So this is a really good distribution. Like this is one of my top favorite ones now. And we're going to be using this for all of our campaigns. I love this one. We already looked at APNews, so you guys can see what this looks like. I think the APNews distribution, this one is going to be more about the optics. When a client sees that they've been published on APNews, that is really, it's awesome. It's a good feeling for them. The limitation here is that these are not going to be influencing the LLMs. These are not going to be influencing the SEO. This is more for optics and brand, where they can put a link on their website to their APNews distribution about their product, their service, and it's going to be more about brand recognition than anything else. All right. Marketwatch. This domain rocks. This site is so powerful. Really high authority site, really high traffic site. All these distributions, they index, they're do follow. These are very influential from an LLM perspective. I would even say, like, from research we've been looking at in the space, even when there are powerful sites like this, these are third-party sites that are powerful. When they make a claim or a statement, it can sometimes trump the primary source, overruling information in their FAQs and what they say about a certain thing about their business, whether they offer free shipping or not. These distributions are so powerful that they can even trump that. So just use this great power with care, okay? You can really influence things in the LLMs quite quickly with these new distributions. So yeah, guys, 4 new channels. I know we've been working on this for a long time. We've been trying to get more of these deals done. I've got probably another 3 or 4 that are in the wings that we're working on. And so, yeah, I'm really excited that we have these new channels, and we'll be working on getting even more for you in the near future. Okay? Awesome. Now, let me see what we got in the Slack, in the channel. So, a lot of love. Good. You guys are excited about this one. Hangover. Yeah, a couple of the people hungover. Great. I'm glad it's not just me. I'm glad we all here know how to party. Have a good Christmas, right? If everyone showed up bright-eyed, bushy-tailed on December 26th, or even for that matter, January 1st, what's wrong with you? Have a little fun. Live a little bit. Good. Good. Let me see. Any other questions? Yes. So Ken, you said, yeah, these are all huge. Yesterday I mentioned that 88%, it's actually 88 point something, it was almost 89%, are of these distributions get cited by the LLMs, which is huge. Yes, that is the case. And I think the percentages are going to be even higher now, because these distributions are like, this high authority US News Network gives you 17 to 22 links in it. And that's going to get definitely indexed, right? Guys, also don't sleep on these down here. Like, we call these tier 2, but these are also part of that 88% that do index and give citation. We just felt the need to separate the high impact ones from the other, like, more distribution driven, more anchor text driven distributions. So, you know, you've got all of these that you can use, and these are really cost efficient. Like, these are not expensive. So yeah, when it comes to influencing the LLMs, this is like probably my favorite way to do it. This plus Cloud Stacks. You just combine the 2 strategies, and you can pretty much get any consensus opinion you want into your LLM of choice. Now, remember also with Search Atlas Brain, we can do everything I showed you there directly through here. So create a press release about Search Atlas integrating into its digital PR platform 4 new channels. Number 1, USA Today. Number 2, Marketwatch. Number 3, APNews. Number 4, a high authority US News Network. We kick that in. And now Brain is going to get to work. So while Brain gets this whole thing started, well, looks like it's moving pretty quick. We'll just open this up. So here it's validating our knowledge graph, making sure it has the logo, the brand assets for a Search Atlas so that I can do the distribution. And here it's coming up with a description. So Search Atlas comprehensive SEO software for agencies and brands, including auto AI. Perfect. Location. No, that's not right. So a couple things to fix. The location of our headquarters is New York, USA. Employees is 250 employees. The rest looks good. The rest looks fine. Okay, let's give that to it. And now it's creating the press release. And I'll also tell it please dictate. Make these changes globally, not just for this distribution, but for all future distributions. Nice. Guys, pop in the chat if you guys got love for Search Atlas Brain. If you've been using it, if you like it, if you've been having a good time making your campaigns happen much faster. I'm going to be doing a series where I bring on one of my friends from the industry, different agencies, different brands, and we're going to use Brain to run campaigns and just show how fast you can go. Incredible. In the title, make sure we're referencing AI PR. The reason for that is I want to make sure we associate. In the title of the press release, make sure we're including AI PR. Because that is a keyword, my friends. That is something that people are searching for, and we are trying to associate that with our entity. Yes, perfect. That's perfect. Complete the press release distribution. I would like to distribute it to Marketwatch, USAToday, High Authority US News, and APNews. All the new channels. And we'll let it cook. So while we do that, let's go back to this citation analysis report that I was showing you guys yesterday. So 88.4% citation rate. This is just up until Christmas Eve. So it doesn't include the new channels, but the new channels are really powerful. I'm actually going to show you guys a different analysis that we did. What we were really geeking out on is just looking at all of these. We've got 5 million citations generated by LLMs, including OpenAI, Gemini, Perplexity. And what we're really interested in is what type of sites are getting the most visibility and classifying these sites. So I alluded to this research that we had done yesterday. And here we explain the mechanics of exactly how we did this research, like every good research paper, and classifying about 1 million domains into the respective industries in this part, and then trying to understand some of the insights. So one thing you can see here is that Perplexity provides a lot of citations, more so than the other platforms. The reason being here is that Perplexity is kind of like it's like a citation graph around whatever prompt you give it. And we see Perplexity for a long time, way more citations than the other LLMs. Gemini also typically doesn't give you the exact URL that it got information from. It'll cite the domain, but it won't cite the URL. That's very interesting. We notice that, especially when web search is disabled. We see that. And what we find is that the citations tend to be these technology sites. Overwhelmingly, the sources of information are sites that are really more technology driven than other topics, which is kind of interesting. When we look at the top news domains that we're finding, these are the news domains. Reuters is the #1 top cited news domain. Is that interesting? Reuters will be coming to Signal Genesis and the press release distribution in Search Atlas soon enough. We're going to be working on that. But a lot of other news channels that we actually distribute to, you mentioned today, we talked about USA Today. That's great. We also talked about News Channel Nebraska. A couple of these others are a part of the distributions that we have. So that's a really quick way to get into the LLMs, especially these are like the top sites. Perplexity is slightly different. OpenAI looks like overall fairly similar. Then there's also review domains where we classify these domains as review domains because they have reviews for multiple firms. That's like their primary content type. And you can see the number one is actually the Better Business Bureau. So that's a pretty important domain to have a citation from, followed by Yelp and then the Chamber of Commerce overall across all LLMs. But you can see there's also Trustpilot in here is important. So that's kind of an interesting survey just to see what is inside these LLMs, what type of data do they have, where are they getting their data from, and what are the sites that they're getting this information from. So a lot of insights in this study. I will be putting this into the course. You guys will be able to access it and read this directly inside the course. But also kind of interesting, look at this. The citations by industry, they're all kind of different. Gemini has more academic and government content that are driving citations in it. It also has a big emphasis on the technology sites. OpenAI, you can see there's somewhat more of like a normalization, although there are pockets where you see technology having more and the review sites and the news media sites probably having a little bit more representation than the others. But that's kind of an interesting cross section to see what sites are driving consensus and the citations. So yeah, this was a really fun analysis that we did. Also down here, breaking down the query intent. So when you look at informative queries, so informational search, that information comes overwhelmingly from tech sites. When you look at these other types, these are more broken down evenly by type of site. So that's kind of interesting. If you're trying to rank for an informational query, what this would tell you is you should try to get that response on a site that is a technology site, because more often than not, the source that the LLMs are using for informational queries are tech sites. Okay, if you're evaluating or discovering or comparing or buying or understanding, different, right? So these intent types actually kind of paint a very different story, especially with regards to informational queries. So very important insight there. Yeah. This was also cool. So trophy content distribution by industry. So listicles dominate across all industries. So top X, top 10 SaaS platforms, best SaaS platforms for e-commerce, those type of topics, listicles. And we made a big emphasis on this inside our agent. I'm actually just going to show you guys the playbooks here that pertain to this strategy so you guys can see it. If you were on the last challenge we did last week, we made a big focus to create trophy content. And if you click on content as well, you'll see listicle article, review article, comparison. These are all different trophy content types that you can just run in here. Just click this and run playbook. And now here we are. We're running this trophy content playbook to create a listicle. And that listicle I can then publish anywhere I want to any one of these types of sites. And more likely it's going to influence the LLM's opinion because number one, my content type, my content format is aligning with the most powerful content type across all industries. And I can also directly publish that to a domain where it's more likely that it will drive the consensus opinion. So probably a technology site would be the best. Okay. In Signal Genesis here, we're showing you guys the real data. Like 258 domains that we published to, they are cited. 41 are not cited. So this would be anything that's a no index. Some of the ones that are in some of these like cheaper distributions, those are not cited. I'll actually show you those just so you know. Those are like the ones that are like $15. But even the ones that are $15, a bunch of those sites actually do distribute. They do get cited. So don't think that just because these are cheap, that these are not effective, right? Because the vast majority of these sites are cited. And here we're breaking down the site specifically. So here we got News Channel Nebraska, Omaha Mag, thestreet.com, a bunch of these other domains you can read here. very influential. And then these are the channels. So broadcast news, this is a sleeper, this one right here. $15, 27 to 35 sites. It'll publish in 4 to 7 days. And a lot of citations you get from that. There's a lot of citations in the LLMs from these sites. So that's an important observation. We also looked at the Link Laboratory publisher network to see where these sites are getting cited and indexed. And there's a huge amount of sites inside that network. I'll actually show you now how you guys can do this. So you go to App Ecosystem, go to Link Laboratory, and then in here, I can filter by, so if I want Gemini, if I want to be indexed in the Gemini LLM, if I want to be indexed in the OpenAI LLM, what are the sites that I've got? And I filter them down, and these are the sites I can publish to that are in both of these LLMs, okay? So that's how you do it. I would probably turn off the Gemini indexation and just leave on the OpenAI. I'm gonna also verify with the team this, because I would have expected if it's in ChatGPT that it would be in Gemini. But actually, that's not the case. There are a bunch of sites that Google doesn't index, but are indexed by ChatGPT. So this is where things get really interesting and kind of weird, that there are sites you'll find that have no traffic. Like, look at the organic traffic on this. This one's a 0. These two have no traffic, but they are indexed by ChatGPT. So this is just showing us how the data corpus that these LLMs are using are different. And a lot of the sites that have no traffic are going to be very cheap to publish to. So when you sort by placement price, 35 buckaroos right here. And these are all indexing inside ChatGPT. So, building links on a bunch of these will influence the consensus opinion, and it's not going to be very expensive. Awesome. Let's go back to the Agent Hub. Let's take a look at what this agent was doing. So here, this was that press release that I wanted to publish. Here, it already executed its action plan, and now it created the press release. These are the networks available. It gives me my pricing. Do I want content variations? Yes, please. Yes, please. I want content variations. Yes, enable signal boost. And the category should be 26 technology. Signal boost, guys, just drives engagement to the press releases. So you get more user signals. That promotes more indexation. It also promotes more strength of these backlinks, because the more click activity, the more user activity that is taking place on the internet on a backlink, it powers up that link. It makes it more important inside the backlink graph. And for Google specifically, for ChatGPT, no impact. All right, amazing. So it did it, guys. It literally submitted the press release. Give me that was easy.
That was easy.
Yeah, very, very easy. Boom. So done. And now we distributed this press release. And it's on its way. Let's see if we can actually see it inside the platform. Let's go back to authority. And right here it is. Search Atlas integrates major news channels into AI PR platform. Love the topic. And these are the 4 channels I selected, and it did exactly what I wanted it to do. Okay. If I want to add additional channels, I could, but it did exactly what I asked. Sweet. Okay, guys. So I'm going to check the chat and see if you guys got any other questions. Alan asks, where is best for payment processing companies? Payment processing is a type of SaaS, right? Technology sites are the best. In terms of what channels to distribute to, if you've never run a single Genesis distribution before, what I would recommend is I would pick a few different contexts around your business. So if you go to the Agent Hub, and let's do that together. We'll go to the Agent Hub, and I'll click on Home here. Look at these trophy content types. You're going to need an article out there. So if you're a payment processing, if that's what you do, you're going to be competing with certain large incumbents that do payment processing, such as Chase has one, Stripe, there's so many different ones. So good idea to create a listicle where you put yourself at the top, talk about why you're the best, and also include context about these other payment processors. That can be a great listicle. You can do a comparison. Pick a competitor that you're the most competitive to and create that comparison article. That's trophy content and publish it. Create a review about yourself, about your company. Talk about the accolades you've won. That's really what the semantic knowledge pack is all about. Is if you read the description here, we're trying to basically talk about all of the most important things about the business, its mission, its capabilities, all factual claims. This type of information is super powerful to feed into the LLM to train it. You should create content like this and publish it to all these channels. I would probably carve up the full list of distributions, and I would give for one content type, I would give it 3-4 sites or channels. For another content type, I would give it a different 3 or 4 channels. That way you end up hitting all of these different sites with different angles and orientations around your story, which is really about why your company's the best. So I hope that helps, but that's how I would approach it. Okay. Rob asks, are these vertical specific? What would be a good cost-effective option for real estate? So for real estate, these local broadcast, local news and media coverage, these channels right here, I'm going to select them on the screen. These are the ones that I would pick on tier 2. And then tier 1, I would pick this one, High Authority US News Network. And I would probably also pick USA Today. If you're working with someone, if they're a real estate company and you have to do a campaign that is like a quarterly campaign, well, what I might do is I would pick, several of them, probably 3 or 4 in month 1, and I would run that. And then in month 2, I would pick another, 2 or 3. I might pick some of the more premium ones. Or I could pick the same sites, but I would just create a new story. That's what I would do for real estate. But with real estate, you really want to get, this is also a way to boost your NAP, because in these press releases, you're going to see what's in here. Our address, our site, our contact information. So this is also a type of citation that is used to boost the NAP profile of the domain. It also creates the right anchor text as well around the website. So for local, a lot of times the thing that drives rankings very heavily in maps are the anchor texts that you're getting to the domain and to the GBP. So what we found in WebScore inside GBP land is that Google are very focused on what is the anchor text of the backlink that's for this local business, less so on the authority profile of that link. If you guys saw our local ranking factors dashboard that is on our subdomain, you guys can access this. You'll learn about the local ranking factors, what really drives and moves the needle for different types of businesses. Real estate is just one. And by the way, this will be integrated into Search Atlas directly inside the platform in here on one of the days that's coming up, where we're focusing on local and all the local launches. And so you'll be able to see this directly inside your dashboard. But I'm gonna go to real estate here, and what you'll see is for real estate, we're looking at profile completeness on the GBP. We're looking, obviously, local citations, that's important. Reviews, ratings, volume, velocity, domain authority, okay, is 39. So it's the authority of the sites that are linking to you. It matters. It actually matters more, the domain power. So let me see if I can organize this by impact. Domain power. So it's more about the traffic of the sites than it is about their DA. Okay, we've seen that in every study we've done. DA and DR and the SEMrush metric are just bunk. They're just trash. But this one is actually very predictive. And so what this gets us to is, yeah, we need links, but we want them to be sites that have good traffic. And those signal genesis sites that we showed you they do have a lot of engagement, as you can see here. Hover over the channel and it will tell you. You guys saw that in the demo earlier today, but yeah, I can actually show you again. So it's right here. You hover over it and you see the metrics of these sites. So a lot of monthly traffic, and that will move the needle But the anchor text is also very important. And that's what we're getting a lot of really good anchors on the internet with these citations in here and the links inside the press release. Cool. And so, yeah, they're not really vertical specific. So to answer your question, not vertical specific. Multiple verticals will use the same channels. So I wouldn't worry so much about it. Which channels to pick. You really want to, you want to get a link from all these sites eventually for your domain. Okay. Does press releases influence search inside EU? For example, Norway. Lovely question. So we've done a lot of experimentation and studies on this where we look at traffic signals and backlink signals from non-target TLDs, meaning if I want to rank a site in the EU, but I'm getting traffic in the United States, does the US traffic help me in the EU and vice versa? The answer is yes. So one of the best things about the hreflang strategy, where we create content in different languages on our website, is that the clicks you're getting from people coming in for different languages, it's all part of the same historical data that Google are using to understand if our site's important on the internet or not. And so what it shows us is that traffic signals from geos that we don't care about directly can influence the geos that we do care about. And the backlinks and the authority that we're getting here, this is still going to help you rank in the EU. Although, if you are an EU website, inside the address here, make sure you put your address here correctly, right? That's your European location. But getting a backlink from a .com is certainly not going to hurt you. It's going to only help you. You will need to have also local backlinks as well. And so for that part of it, that aspect of the strategy, inside Link Laboratory, we do have the ability for you to filter by TLD and just look at sites that are getting traffic from Europe. So you can filter traffic here. You can filter TLD here. So you could do co.uk, filter by, did I do that right? Maybe it's just co.uk. Yeah. 2,000 sites. 2,000 sites. So check out these TLDs. That's going to help you. You can also filter by country here. Looks like we added another country filter. Would have been nice if we had a search box. So tell the team about that. But yeah, give that a shot. I'll check for any other questions. MS Karika, does this apply to all locals? Yes, it does. What I'm finding, I can use lead generation for my contractors. Yeah, totally. So the thing about this is that you're going to see the results you get for local businesses using this strategy are going to be amazing. Like look at this business, Party Entertainment. They dominate in New York. These guys have been following the playbook. Also, if you check out our school community, tons of people from the last challenge are sharing case studies that they were able to get using Search Atlas Brain and following the strategy, but it's very effective. Okay, well, good guys. If you guys have more questions on this launch, feel free to pop them into the chat. I will answer them. I'll respond to them. Also, go to our school group to engage and be a part of the community. You can also go to our Facebook group and inside Facebook, pop your questions in there. Our team sees every question you have and will respond to you. Okay, checking other questions. Jim's saying, I ran the playbook for the project and told it to check the citations, but it turns out I already ran it. But the playbook, instead of checking, reran the same citations, creating a second order. Okay, so that's for citations. What I would do is in your playbook, I would modify the playbook to say, don't get the same citations that I already did or something like that, so that it doesn't get you a duplicate. Unless you really tell it the behavior you're looking for, it doesn't know that context. So just make sure you review these playbook prompts, and if you want to customize the behavior, be my guest. You can add that in. Awesome. Eric saying highly effective. Brain and other agents are the game changer. 100%, guys. And you can see, if you guys have been following and looking at how this changes, you'll see we're pushing updates. We're always trying to make this better. And we've got some big improvements coming into Brain, as well as the homepage coming very, very soon. So stay tuned. I will be talking more about that. But guys, I think that is about it for today's live. And I'll see you guys back here tomorrow. We're going to be going live with another, not tomorrow, I'm sorry. Tomorrow's Saturday. Man, I'm in like a space-time warp here. But on Monday, we'll be continuing. So come back on Monday. We'll continue with day 10 of the 12 days. And guess what, guys? This year, we might even extend 12 days to more like 15, 16, 17, 18 days, because we have that many things to give you, that many launches. So stay tuned. Thank you guys for being here, and I will see you on the next one. Ciao. Peace.